Welcome. I'm going to start by presenting you with 3 questions, and then I'm going to ask you to respond to those questions. Question 1. Have you ever gone to a store and tried on, say, jeans or jackets or whatnot, and been given a number that matches the total numbers of clothes that you're going to try on? For example, you go to TJ Maxx or Marshall's with 3 pairs of jeans to try on, and the clerk gives you a number 3. Has that ever happened? Question 2. Have you ever gone through a drive-thru, got up to the window to pay, and then on the window you see a sign that says if the cashier does not give you a receipt, your meal is free? Has that ever happened to you? Final question. Have you ever had a job that requires you to clock in when you arrive and clock out when you leave? Has that ever happened to you? Why are these questions important? These questions represent the next topic that we're going to study, which is called internal controls. Internal controls, in its most simplest form, are the steps a business take to protect the items of value or assets which they own. And internal controls are all around us in our day-to-day lives. For example, a lot of you have smartphones. You have an internal control on your smartphone. To prevent other people from accessing the items of value on your phone, it prompts you to enter your personal and unique 4-digit passcode. And this is what we're going to be focusing on over the next couple weeks. Let's go back to those intro questions. What would happen if that employee did not give you a card which represents the number of jeans that you tried on? Well, if she doesn't give you a card and you go in with 3 pairs of jeans and you come out with 2, maybe you stole one and she doesn't know. But by giving you that card, if you go in with 3 and you come out with 2 pairs of jeans, she knows that maybe you stuffed one in your bag, maybe you're wearing that pair of jeans over the other pair of pants you have, etc. Let's go back to question 2. By putting that sign in the drive-thru about the receipt, it motivates the employee that's taking your order to put it through the system during its normal protocol. In other words, if they didn't have that procedure in place, you could give that employee cash. She could go to the cook and say, hey, make a burger, but not report it through the system. And then when the employee gets the cash, she could pocket it. But the relying on the customer, well, wow, if I don't get a receipt, I get a free meal, I'm definitely going to say something. So that's an example of an internal control. Question 3, by requiring you to clock in and clock out, it prevents you from over-reporting the number of hours you worked or not working as much as what you reported, but getting paid for. So those are examples of internal controls. Internal controls became popular in 2002 after the passage of the Sarbanes-Oxley Act. The Sarbanes-Oxley Act requires all public companies to put in a system to protect the items of value or assets, again, that they own. Why? Because investors give corporations millions and billions of dollars a year. In return, they deserve the right to have confidence in the company that they're remaining efficient and putting procedures in place to find and detect errors, fraud, and ultimately remain profitable. And so over the next couple weeks, we're going to be talking about the types of internal controls businesses create, how they implement them, how they monitor them, and all the different laws and regulations that go along with that. In closing, I'm going to leave you with this story and have you follow up with your prediction of why you think this business does this. There's a business called Nordstrom Rack. If you haven't heard of it, it's affiliated with Nordstrom's. And if you go there to buy their shoes, out on their racks, they only keep 1/2 of the pair on the shelf. So if you go in and you find a size 10 pair of blue Nikes that you like, on the shelf, you can only grab 1/2 of the pair. You then take that half to the back of the store and you give it to a clerk, and then they go back into their warehouse and get the other half of the shoe. There's a lot of different reasons why a business does this in context of internal controls. Let's see how many you can get. And again, in closing, internal controls are those things a business puts in place to protect the items of value they own. I probably shouldn't be telling you this, but I have internal control at my house. Outside my house, I have all sorts of signs that say my home is protected by a camera security system, ADT. I'm going to let you in on a little inside secret. I don't actually have the camera system. But guess what? This is a preventive control that I put in place because if someone comes to rob my house and they see this sign, they're probably going to skip it and go back to another house. This is one of my favorite subjects to talk about, and I'm excited to share in our journey about it with you.